Hey guys, Ricky here. Welcome to day 4. You guys are doing an amazing job. I am absolutely thrilled to be creating this sub-community of photography lovers, or just those of you interested in taking some better photos. I'm going to put you in that category too. I love it. This has been fantastic. I hope that you're enjoying this as well. I hope maybe we're kind of bridging the gap a little bit with I don't know, like the Bookstagram world and taking the intention behind the photos of that. It's not just about reading the cool books, is it? I'm going to put together more content for you guys related specifically to Bookstagram for those of you who are interested. I've had so many questions, and I've been sending links to my courses for those that have asked, but I think a lot of people are maybe a little shy or not sure what that looks like. So hopefully this will give you a taste, and maybe that's something that interests you. If not, then I hope that you're just enjoying this. So, okay, day 4, we were talking all about styling. Next to shooting in low light, this is the number 2 question I get, is about styling. And let me preface this by saying that I did not come into this naturally. My style has always been like, that's cozy and cute and warm and I love that. Yay. And that was the end of it. Like, I couldn't tell you what anything was. I was like, oh, it's eclectic. We're good. But that's just kind of a cheat way out to say I have no idea. Not to say that eclectic means that. It just means that's a way to cover up if you don't know as well. So sure, maybe I do have an eclectic taste, but over the years I've learned it's not that eclectic. I can narrow it down pretty well into being something very specific. The idea, though, is that you do have to have some semblance of understanding your style. If you're taking photos and you're styling a photo, you're now doing 2 jobs. Being a photographer and being a stylist are 2 very different things. With Mikkel and I starting the Art in Biblio, I was a photographer, she was a stylist. And we both kind of started very beginner, very just didn't really know what we were doing. And we just started and we just practiced and we kept we would save images and be like, this is amazing, how do we do this? And then she would hold up her phone and show me here's how we're doing, here's how this looks, how does this look in camera, it was just this back and forth play of what does this look like, how can we replicate that? And then often we didn't actually use that. That was just a way to build on understanding how styling worked and creating photos. I will say that styling is 2 parts. One part, your personal style. So it can be the mood of your photo, the things you have present all the time. Maybe you love the cozy home vibe and you want to show that, or maybe you just want it in your bookshelves all the time, or maybe you just want your kitchen table or your bed, your outside and I love my garden, so I do that a lot too. Whatever your space is, you have to have a sense of style there, and it creates kind of a branding element where you're working through the colors we talked about the other day, having consistent light if possible, at least until you know how to shoot in different types of light, right? That's the goal, is that you have to know either how to shoot in all types of light and create a consistent look at the end, or just stay with the same type of light so that you can work through that to learn how to style photos a little bit. And it doesn't have to be I'm a stylist per se. I would not say I'm a stylist. But I do know that does help to have some props. It doesn't have to be a lot. You can just have a coffee mug that you love, some decorative books in the background, a plant, a really cute candle holder, a really nice blanket, whatever fits the theme for your image. But then you also have to think, in the middle of all of that, how am I creating a scene? How am I setting this up to compose something worthwhile? And so then you have to think about what is my surface? What is my table, or what am I working with here? What's the texture and color? And typically you want good texture and you want a neutral or nice color to work with. And then you want to, bring props in or out, adjust them as needed. You want to look for other textures to layer in. So like I said, having a blanket, using cozy sweaters for having your hands in there. any number of other elements. And the point is that those things are helpful. It can be anything you already have, things you maybe don't even know. That early on with Michaela and I, she'll go through my house and find things. She's like, oh, this is cute. And I would have never, ever in a million years thought to use that as a prop in a photo, or that it would be worthwhile in some way. So I guarantee that you probably have some things on hand. Think about what's culturally relevant to you. Think about things you use for tradition. Think about your daily things. Do you have a favorite blanket, or do you have a sweater that you can use to make it just look like a blanket to kind of throw the corner in there? But that helps. Those sorts of things really help with styling. And then it's a matter of just really adjusting your products, adjusting the things you have to showcase the main subject, and everything else should be supportive. You shouldn't have anything clashing, especially with color. You'll see that I tend to keep a pretty neutral-ish color palette. Like, you will see warm tones and you'll see pops of green from plants. I love kind of a deep mustard yellow, so you'll see that from time to time. And I love blue tones or gray, but it's a consistent flow. It all works together. So you kind of have to think about a little bit of the art direction and the creative concept of what you're trying to pull together, and how it assembles in the image. If you have a relative who's maybe really good, or a friend who's really good at that sort of thing, maybe ask their advice, or put a thing up in a post up in Instagram stories and say, hey guys, what do you think about this? What works? What doesn't? What do you like? What do you not like? I know it sounds silly, but people like the kind of interaction. Everybody loves to give their input. So why not engage your viewers, your followers, and see what they have to say about it. It can help you. I have always felt very insecure about styling previous to recent years, and so I would lean on my best friend to help me all the time, because I needed that sort of just developing my own awareness and understanding for what I could do. So it takes some time. You do have to, it's just a matter of practice. Start simple. Now, not so simple. Like I made that mistake early where I would just, here's a pretty blanket and here's a book on it. That just doesn't quite work. But if you are mindful about how the light is working in relation to the composition you're setting up with your subject, and then again the supporting elements, and everything around the main subject should be a supporting element. Look through your favorite photos, anything that you found and saved on Instagram or on Pinterest that resonates with you, and start looking like, what are they using in this image? Well, let's look at this example. So here you'll have textures, colors, look at how these items are working together, look at how the light plays on them differently. It's going to take some practice, and I would recommend more than anything is just finding some photos that you love. Create your scene. Like, this is literally where I'm sitting down to work or have coffee or read today. How can I elevate this just a little bit? What can I add? What can I take away? So think about those things. Think what you can add to your scene. I think there's probably a lot more to discuss on this topic, but I do not want to overload you with too much information. So I do hope that you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.